I hope you've been having fun with our lowercase cursive letter videos so far. This is going to be the last 4 letters that we haven't seen yet. Remember to sit flat with your paper flat on the table, feet flat on the floor if you can, sitting up straight. Right-handed people holding your pencil like this, left-handed people like this. Right-handed people tilt our paper this way, left-handed people tilt it the other way. The last 4 letters I'm going to show you today are V, X, Y, and Z. Now V is almost going to be like an upside down U in cursive, okay? We're going to start at the bottom, and we're not going to stop on this middle line. What we are going to do is we're going to make a hump, okay, like a little bit of a hill. We're going to curve up, touch that middle line, and then curve right back down to the bottom line, but we're not done yet. We do need to finish with our tail, and our tail is going to have 2 parts. So when we've made our hill and we've gotten down to the bottom line, we're going to touch that bottom line again, and we're going to curve back up to the middle, and we need to put a tail on it, okay? Now I know it can get tricky to make sure you keep your slants here. We need to make sure that everything stays curved and smooth. We don't need any points in our letters. We don't need anything too skinny, okay? So here's the V again. We start at the bottom, and we curve over to the middle line and curve back around to the bottom and put a tail on it. One more time, start at the bottom, curve up, touch, curve down, touch, curve back up, and put a tail on. We don't want a really fat V. That takes up way too much space. We don't want a really skinny curvy V because that just looks like a crazy letter, right? We also don't want a V that goes above that middle line. That's way too high. What we do want is an easy curve, and a tail, okay? And guys, I know that this is going to be a hard letter for you because a V, when you print, normally is a pointed letter, okay? But when we're in cursive, there is not a whole lot that's ever going to have a point on it, okay? In fact, there's almost nothing that's going to have a point on it. So we want to make sure that everything curves very nicely. The other letter that I'm going to show you is the letter X. Once again, remember, nothing is really that pointy in the letter X, okay? So it's going to be just like the letter V, where we start at the bottom, curve up and touch, curve down and touch, but we're not going to put that hook on it. We're going to stop right there. And now we know that the X in printing has this cross, right? Everything crosses at a certain point. So we need to add that in to our letter X in cursive. And all we're going to do is we're going to take that slant that we practiced a couple videos ago. We're going to start on the middle line right here in the middle between where we met there and where we ended there. I'm going to find that spot right in the middle, and I'm going to bring a slant down to the bottom. And there's my cross. Now notice that where it meets is not on the dotted line, and it's also not on the bottom line. If I show you again, we're going to make what looks like the beginning of a letter V. Start at the bottom, curve and touch, curve back down, touch, and leave your tail. Find that spot right in the middle and bring your slant back down. Notice how where I end is right in the middle on this side, okay? What we don't want, again, we don't want a fat curve right here. What we don't want for the letter X is we don't want to make it too skinny that we can't properly cross, okay? That's too skinny, and we almost run into the problem of meeting those extra spots right there. So we don't want anything quite that skinny. We also don't want our cross to be bigger than the curves. That's not right. We don't want our cross to start where we ended. We don't want that to meet. On the other side, we don't want it to meet back here either. We don't want to touch anything that we've already written. We need to start on the bottom. Nice easy curves. Leave your tail on the middle line. Find that spot in the middle and bring your slant right down and leave a spot in the middle. Okay, one more time. Bottom, curve up, touch, curve down, touch, end on the middle line, and put a cross on it. And there's your letter X. The next letter is the letter Y. And the letter Y has a lot of loops in it. So with the letter Y, we're almost going to make another letter V, but we're going to make it a little closer together. So the letter Y is going to start on this bottom line. And we're going to do a curve up, and we're going to curve back down to that bottom line. Okay, but we're not done yet, because we need to bring it back up, just like the letter X, only it's a little bit closer together. Okay? With the letter Y, we're still not done yet. I've brought it up and I've touched the middle line, and now I need to retrace my steps, because I'm going to drop way down and I'm going to make a loop, sort of like the letter P and the letter J and the letter G. Okay, now I've met right here on the bottom line. I just need to add my tail. Notice how all of my tails are ending on the middle line. I never have a tail that goes way up. Okay, tails are not meant to go that high. Once again, the letter Y starts on the bottom line. We do an easy curve, down touch, come up and stop, just like the letter X. But look how wide I made my letter X. That's fine, but we don't need it quite that big for the letter Y, so we want to try to squish that just a little bit. We didn't want to do that with the letter X because we needed room for that cross piece. We don't need that room over here. So now I've curved and I've stopped. I need to retrace all the way down to the bottom and make that loop and close it and bring my tail around. Slowly, easily, smoothly. Everything in cursive is smooth, guys. Bottom, curve up and touch, curve down and touch, bring it back up to the middle line, retrace, drop it down, close the loop, and end with the tail. What we don't want is a big hump, right? It's too big. We don't want a fat loop. There's no need for that. We also don't want it to be too wavy. And notice how there's that big gap there, okay? If you look back over here at this one, everything is closed. There's no gap there. We don't need that crazy gap happening, okay? You need to make sure that everything is slanting to the right. That's why we tilt our paper, okay? Start at the bottom, curve up, curve down, and stop. All the way down and back up, okay? We don't want our Y to be too short, okay? We want that to come all the way down to the bottom. We don't want that. We want a nice curvy, skinny, closed loop Y, okay? The last letter is the letter Z, and this one is almost as fun as the letter F and almost as fun as the letter Y. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that. The letter Z has two humps in it that kind of don't make any sense sometimes, because the letter Z doesn't start where you think it does. Okay? The letter Z starts down here. It curves up, but then we have to pause a moment. And notice how I paused in the middle of La La Land. I know I said to not do that, but the letter Z is special because we need to make a short hump to bring it back down. Okay? And then we're gonna finish by making a loop like the letter Y and closing it on that bottom line. And then we're gonna curve up. Now I've seen the letter Z done a few ways. We can do it like this. We can do it like this, also seen it done like this. And a lot of times you'll see some people who write cursive differently than you do. And I'm going to say that your teachers and me are going to want you to start down here, make a hump, just like with the letter V. And then we're going to make a half hump, just like this, okay? It didn't go back all the way to the middle line, but it went about halfway between the middle and the bottom line. Then I need to come straight down and touch that way bottom line and close my loop back on that bottom line, and then make the tail. I'm going to show you real quick. Hump, half hump, drop it way down, close the loop, and leave the tail. Okay. So remember, we don't want two humps that meet the middle line. That looks like an M or an N. We don't want that. We don't want little humps. Even though that looks super cute, that's not right either. We don't want fat humps. That's way too much space for that Z to take up. We want normal sized humps, halfway, all the way down, and close. Okay? The next few videos are going to show you how to make spaces correctly, how to connect your words, and go over some of those trickier letters. So keep an eye out for that video.